Hi, everybody. I'm here today with Joe. We're welcoming him back. We talk about the nine money rules, and today we're talking about number six, which is giving. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Will. Thanks again for having me. It's both a pleasure and an extreme honor to be here with you today. So thank you again for having me. So yes, tonight we're talking about rule number six of the nine money rules millionaires use. Rule number six is the law of generous giving. And the title of the chapter in the book is called Joel, If I Give My Money Away, How Do I Have More Money? And it's an interesting question, but I've found in my life when you're giving from your heart and it's from a state of allowing that more abundance and prosperity and money flows into your life. Sir John Templeton, who some say was the best investor of the 20th century, he started the Templeton Funds with just a few $1,000s and sold the Templeton Funds to the Franklin Mutual Funds in the 1990s for almost $1 billion. Said that he hadn't met anybody who gave at least 10% of his earnings each year over a 10-year period at least that didn't have massively more wealth at the end of the 10 years than at the beginning. So again, you may be saying, Joel, if I give my money away, I have less money. But giving from a state of allowing changes to your subconscious mind to say, I have plenty to spare and share. And I will say to you that money is just energy. Everything is energy, and money is just energy. And when you put that energy out into the world, it must flow back to you. And generally, I found in my life, it's flowed back multiples. So I just want to tell you a quick story. When I wrote my first book, Mindful Money Management, the initial sales weren't spectacular. And I had talked about giving in my first book, Mindful Money Management, and I decided to put it into practice. And this was 2018. I was going into Manhattan probably 2 or 3 days a week. And I brought a couple of books each time I went into Manhattan and I gave them away. And within a week of doing this, starting this practice, sales started climbing dramatically.
Wow.
And a month later, I was, what is going on here? Like we had okay sales the first few weeks, month, 2 months, but nothing like what it was once I started giving it away. And I wanted people to understand the practices that were in the book, Mindful Money Management. And people were learning, and I felt like I was being of service and I was being generous by giving them this book, and money started flowing. And I found every time I've given generously in my life, it's come back to me multiple times. So I would challenge anyone who's listening or watching today or the recording to think about ways they can give. And it doesn't have to be just money. You could give a smile to a stranger. You could give a compliment to a stranger. Maybe you could even give your time to a charity or start your own charity. I started my own charity a few years ago, Solomore Charitable Giving, to teach financial literacy to kids 18 and younger. So, what could you do to give? And I have had clients who are living in scarcity and lack and poverty. and I tell them to give. And that's the least thing they want to do. And when they do it, something changes, right? There are people, I tell my clients, there are billions of people on this earth who would love to change places with you, even for one day, because you're living their dream life. So there are plenty of people you can give to around the globe that are worse off than you. So how can you do that? Think about those different causes and things that really resonate in your heart and give there, because it will shift your feelings. I found in my life when I give that it just, especially when someone truly appreciates it. I have a story in the Nine Money Rules Millionaires Use about this woman that I saw in Grand Central Station, and she was literally picking the garbage. Here in the state of New York, if you recycle plastic bottles, you get 5 cents for each plastic bottle. So she was going through all the garbage to try to find those plastic bottles, and I saw her and I went up to her and I gave her a large bill, and she was so grateful and blessing me, and it warmed my heart to know that I could help somebody and save her time, probably saved her a full day's worth of work for doing that. And that so you it's really important to be a generous giver and an excellent receiver. It's a good affirmation, by the way. I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver. So how can you be a generous giver? Think about that today, giving your time, giving your efforts, giving some money, and or you could just, like I said earlier, give a smile, give a compliment to a stranger. You can change someone's life with just a smile, believe it or not. So
Yeah, I mean,
what
I
random
have
acts
experience.
of, go ahead, El.
I said yes, just a smile. I have experienced that, and people, the reaction of people changes. If you, I mean, if you can try it, if you just go to the grocery store and you walk in with a face that is, don't even bother me, versus smiling and walking in, people talk to you. I mean, it's amazing how that energy changes when your energy is positive and open to giving and receiving. That, the smile, when you give the smile, you receive the hello, how are you, and how is your day going, something like that. And it would always, so it makes sense what you're telling us. It's very true that when you give and you receive.
Absolutely. And I jog almost every morning around my neighborhood, and I will smile and say good morning to everyone I pass by. More of a just a game with myself to see how many people I could turn that frown, upside down and into a smile. And it's just a game I play every morning. How many times do I get a smile back? How many times do I get a good morning back? And I don't pass a lot of people. I'm jogging pretty early in the morning. And so maybe I pass 10 to 15 people over a 45-minute time period. And so it's just how many of the 10 to 15 people can I get to smile? Can I get to say good morning? A lot of people have headphones on these days and not even looking up, so they're not interacting with other human beings. Even they're just have their head down and listening to whatever they're listening to. But I sometimes say it loud enough so that it interrupts their music or whatever they're listening to see if we can have some human interaction, because a lot of that is becoming less and less these days, and I think we need that human interaction, that energy, that connection. And so it's just a way of giving back, a way of giving to others. And so, and I said giving back, but I'll what I would challenge everyone on the call to not do is not to wait until you have the millions in the bank to give. Start today. And it doesn't have to
Exactly.
be lots of money. It could be a dollar. I have some of my clients set an amount and start right when they start working with me. It could be even a dollar a day, but start because it just shifts your subconscious to, oh, okay, I do have some money to spare. And that's powerful because when you start thinking that way, it becomes the truth.
Beautiful. I think that way. So I'm from today will start thinking that way. It's I mean, just I live in California, so it's different. We're always in our cars, so the interaction is not as much as I guess you when you're in New York. So I have to think about who am I gonna go like walk down the street and uh, help or give or yes. But yeah, the smile of going to the grocery store, I always try to do that because I feel that it changes the energy that's going on for me and the other person that I'm seeing. So, but
Yes.
that would be something that I'm going to explore. Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah, it's a powerful process. In fact, I the last two rules, the rule tonight and the rule last week, we talked about gratitude. I believe if you can practice those on a daily basis, you can go from lack and scarcity thinking to abundance and prosperity and gratitude thinking very quickly. So I recommend gratitude and giving to move from that poverty consciousness to poverty prosperity consciousness.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Joel. And we will see you next week. What's number 7 for next week?
Rule number 7 is where is my cash going?
That's a good one. Let's explore that
Yeah.
next week. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody. Oh, do you have any? You can reach Joel under the description. He has a 30-minute complimentary call. Any other thing you want to add? Any workshops or anything you have coming up?
Not in the immediate future, but yes, please reach out. I give everybody 30 minutes free. So go to salaurmor.com and sign up for your free prosperity coaching call.
Actually, me and Joe were on a money summit. Was it last week? Yes, last week. And it was interesting that I talked about the relationship with self and those limiting beliefs about having how you're going to have more money. And Joe talked about uh, his 9 rules about having more money. But thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.